Hello guys and welcome to Market Watch with Block. Today is the 10th of September 2021 and we are just in the first third of Rectember, and it is not necessarily singing so true. You know, we are in a bit of a consolidation phase as we have been now for the past 2 days, which for a lot of people can be quite boring because the market is quite flat. That being said, you know, some alts have really pumped pretty hard, which have been dying to get back to some of the previous levels. You know, I'm looking at USOL, Cardano. We're going to see what happens over the next couple of days. We've got the news drop on the 12th, which falls on the worst day for trading, which is Sunday. So I'm super interested to see what happens with Cardano, if it is going to be one of those sell the news. Because everybody is expecting it to pump, so my thought process is I'm not going to jump in on that because I think it is going to sink. However, long-term wise, it's a very good project. Anyway, enough about Cardano. We're here to talk about Bitcoin. And before I get into this, make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons, and don't forget that little notification bell because it'll give you an up-to-date notification of when these drop, so you can be right on the pulse with all of these trades. Cool, enough noise. Let's get into today's analysis. As I mentioned, over the past basically couple of days since this pretty horrific dump, we've been consolidating in this relatively tight range. Once we got out of this kind of candle, which dumped down and it hit the 50 DMA and it got pinged straight back up, we haven't gone too much outside of 45.5k and now at 47.3k. What to me looks like it could potentially be a bit of an ascending triangle, but again, very loosely. There's no real kind of core pattern form just yet. It is a bit worrying right now. I'm going to come out with it and say I'm a little bit bearish on Bitcoin. Short term, of course. And we had a bit of a key rejection here at 47,500 or 47,447.61 if you want to be precise. And why is this so important? Well, it's the most recent high that we've not been able to break. You know, we've been doing new higher lows, higher low, and it would have all been great if we'd have seen a higher high here. Then that would have been smashing, you know, would have been on our way. But unfortunately not, and then we pressed back down into this kind of upward trend line here, as you can see on the bottom side of this ascending triangle. Had we have bounced off that and come back and retested this 47.5k, then it's all looking pretty gravy. You know, we'd have a potential chance of pumping back up. But you know, after this great big dump and then we're consolidating, the 9 times out of 10 with these formations, it does kind of sink a lot lower again. So we're definitely into this second phase of the bearish movement. Now, how fast this is going to go, I think we could see a relatively sharp drop. If we lose 45.5k, we could see a relatively sharp drop. As you can see here on the volume profile, there's quite low, quite a low liquid area here. So we might just ping straight down to here and likely stop around about 43, 44k, but more realistically, probably carry on down to about 43k longer term. Now, I don't know if we're going to go beyond that. The thing to watch here is the 200 DMA. Once this catches up a little bit with where we're going to be, I don't know if we'll meet around about this area. So it currently sits at 41,200. I just know there's going to be a big bounce there when it hits. It's such a traditional trading tool, such an old school trading tool, and on an asset as big as Bitcoin, I think this is going to really have an impact. And by the time we get down to this kind of region, which could be Sunday, you know, so it's still a couple of days, which will take us to around about this area here. Yep, the 12th, and round about here is where I feel that the DMA will cross. So we could be looking at around about 42k based on that, which is smack bang in between these two kind of support lines here. But we are going to be, we could be tracking on this downward trend line right here. So let's have a look at some of our other technical indicators on here and utilize this alpha suite. What we're seeing as well at the moment is the fear and greed index on the 1 hour is sitting right on neutral, which is not unsurprising as we've been consolidating. We've been pumping really in either direction. But we are seeing a strong sell on the moving averages. So this is a collective of moving averages, and then the oscillators, a collective of oscillators, you know, from RSI to stock and so on. is all saying sell, and these are based on the TradingView collective indicators, which is pretty handy, but does fire a lot of missed signals. So definitely don't live your trading life by that. What else we got going on? Well, we're seeing an interesting one here, which is a little bit good. So what we've got here is we're slightly oversold on the BPT index and RSI index, which would indicate a bit of a bounce, hopefully incoming. But as you can see here, as we've been oversold, it kind of just crash. So we could be seeing the start of a bit of a dump. What we want to be seeing is some bullish volume coming in. As you can see here with these BPT signals, you want to see some bullish volume coming in. Unfortunately, this dump was just a little bit too great, and that kind of smashed on through. But until we see that, we're not really trying to be catching any knives right now. Right up to the alpha momentum, should I say, we see a significant, since September the 7th at 11 o'clock, it's been just brutally consolidating. And you can see on this volume oscillator just here, it's not really shown too much excitement going on. Nothing like this, obviously, or that. And as you can see, this volume oscillator kind of rose quite quickly, and we're not seeing anything. We've seen a little blip just here of a attempted breakout, but that got knocked back pretty hard. Unfortunately as well, with this little red arrow that's coming in, we're seeing that Bitcoin price is dropping, dominance is rising, and altcoin volume is dropping as well, which is the perfect storm to set us up for a bit of a anti-alt season, because all the signs are in place. USA has been online for a little bit, not too much has happened. Actually seen a bit of a buy coming in, which is quite interesting. But we are into a mini little triangle here of keeping above this support line and just inside this downward trend line as well. So we'll see what happens. Again, for coming outside of this ascending triangle is not great news. Operating below this prominent volume support as well, which is the highest area of support over the past 100 candles, isn't ideal either. It all sounds a little bit doom and gloomy at the moment. But if I'm being completely honest, I am, as I said yesterday, I'm still about 60% bearish to about 40% bullish, because we are still in this quite tight range, still technically consolidating on a high time frame, I'd say higher than 1 hour. So it's not really possible to call a direction just yet, because we don't really have any confirmation. My advice in the world of trading is to probably hold off from trading until we see a bit of direction, whether we fall below 45.5k or above 47.4k. We'll go with 47.4k to be safe. Just be mindful of this 20 DMA. That could act as a secondary resistance, and you might get caught out if you go in hard here and then get rejected there. So, if you want to be safe, I'd say 47.5k. Sorry, I'm not 47.5k, what am I talking about? 48.4k, somewhere around that region would be ultra safe, and we'll start to get back to an ultra bullish momentum, and I think we'll shoot back up through this quite low liquid area. But below that, 45.5k, then your target's looking around about 40, 44, 43, 41k are your conservative targets, and then bullish targets, obviously 100k. But more short term, looking at 49.5k should we get above. That pretty much summarizes my daily thoughts on Bitcoin, and it's a bit of a bland one because, as it always is in these small, tight ranging periods, don't jump in too heavily into any alts at the moment unless they've got some amazing news behind them, or I would say Sol, but that's obviously at the top end of the scale now, so I'd throw caution into wind on that one. Cardano is a potential bet, but like I said earlier, there is an argument to say that the sell the news could be coming in pretty hard, but it is pretty good news, so I don't know. But guys, as I always say, play it safe, but most importantly, don't rush into anything, as patience pays.